Hello and welcome to my Year 2 review of CS2. This will recap the second year since CS's release from late September of 2024 up until now, which is early October 2025. My apologies. So generally, I don't think I have much to talk about because generally there's just not been much added content-wise. Starting off with Premiere, we had season three. We finally did get some new seasons, and other than getting a little pin and let's say, what is it, like the pin that you get, it keeps track of your kills, what maps you played, etc. on Premiere. And so it's cool that we got new seasons, but other than that, there's not much to talk about. I think Premiere really won't change from like a gameplay. Oh, you can use voice chat in the pick ban system. That probably should have been a feature at launch, and that's in the past few months or so, but otherwise a nice feature. But generally, not much has changed in Premier Competitive. Matchmaking is still pretty, can be unbalanced sometimes. You can get, I think I was playing like one of the community maps for a mission, which I'll talk about missions once we get to the sort of the things you can do, I guess, later on. But you can get people who play Face It are level 10 or really high, or people who might even be cheating, or just people who are just really good in general. When you like try to do like if you've never played a map like let's say Train, you don't play Train at all. Like I need to get the I want to try to get good at Train. Play with some people, and you get matched people who are just much higher elo than you, be it in Premiere or any other game mode. You check their stats, it's like, oh my god, why am I playing against this guy? This guy like no lives the game. This makes no sense. So they need to update their algorithm. I would just try to do that. Maybe have it based around playtime of like CS2 or CS:GO in general. But other than that, competitive is still it's fine. It would have been. It's just matchmaking can still be a bit skewed, and considering it's been 2 years on, and they've not updated anything, I don't think matchmaking for competitive will be changing anytime soon. Let's see, deathmatch. So shortly after my review for year one came out, they released the Armory, and when they released the Armory, there was an exploit slash bug where you could queue a team deathmatch server, which was a thing in Global Offensive. You could play Team Deathmatch in Global Offensive, and people were exploiting it to get tons of XP. And one thing I kind of thought when, just now thinking of this review, is that we had those at least the two game modes. We had regular deathmatch, which was like 1v19 people, it's free for all, or you had a team deathmatch where it was 10v10 and the first like 100 points or whatever it was wins. And we're still a year after that, and for whatever reason, Valve has just, done nothing. You still only have regular deathmatch, and unless you get into a server where it's only like 10 people, it's chaos because it's you and 19 other people on maps that were never really designed for that many people, and so the spawns are messed up. You're getting spawned in front of you're getting spawned in front of somebody, or someone is spawning in front of you, and it's like this isn't fair. This is not fun. On top of it not being fair, it's totally not fun. If you're the one who, you just got killed, and you're not checking like every hall that you've spawned in, like okay, you don't look around. You want to just get back in the action and go, and then you get shot in the back of the head, or just some guy, pops out in front of you. It's not fun. That's not why, it's just not a fun thing for deathmatch. I don't think. I think if they had bigger maps, maybe if they had maps that were, I don't know, designed for just playing deathmatch on, instead of just these regular competitive maps, that would be fun. I would like to see, in the community map, like, hey, we've got some maps that have been made just for this game, for this game mode. I think that would be really cool. But on top of that, so we've covered Premier competitive deathmatch. Otherwise, not much has really changed. A theme, I think, of this video and the game as a whole. Arms race. We've had nothing really updated. It's been the same stuff since February of last year. We still only have shoots and baggage. Game modes that weren't out, that maps that came out when they brought back arms race. And Pool Day is a community map, and the fact that it's never updated anymore, pretty much it's almost an official map. And then the night version of Shoes that they recently added, which I'd never really wanted. I wanted maps like St. Mark, Safe House, all the other Lake, I think is the other one. Monastery, that's another map. Like, these are all maps that we had in Arms Race where you could play for like 15, 30 minutes, however long it takes, you want to play for, and you've got a plethora of levels to choose from. And I'm just sitting here like, what are they doing? It's a matter of, you introduce this game mode, you want to support the game mode. And I don't care that it may not even be played a lot. It's a matter of we had this in Global Offensive 2 years ago, and we had it for the longest time, and for whatever reason, they've not been ported. I've heard rumors that some of these maps might be coming back, but it's 2 years on. We've had one map, and that's Train. Train is the only quote unquote new map that we've had because it's just a remake of the original Train. But in terms of maps that were in Global Offensive that we're still waiting to be added, that were not added at launch, there's we have all the arms race levels. Demolition's never, I probably will never come back. It was very much a niche game mode. It really was just added, I think, in the beginning as more of an experiment by either Hidden Path or Val, whoever his idea was to do the Demolition game mode. But either way, we're still missing so many things. On top of, and speaking of, I will go back to competitive and Premier. People are, they're waiting for Cobble and Cash and Tuscan, which Valve, from what I understand, bought Tuscan for like $500,000, and neither of these, other than Valve buying the rights to Cash, we've had no teasers either in in-game file leaks or even Valve themselves teasing a Cobble, a Cash, Tuscan, any of these maps being, reissued. I would just like a teaser of like, just like an image of like, here's the map. Oh my god, okay, that'll be coming up soon. We don't even get like a teaser. I'm not asking for like, hey, this will be out, in X amount of months. I just want like, what are they working on? I would like to just know what is Valve doing right now. That's what I want to know. I want to just know what's going on in the CS division. I'm just curious because like it's just we're just sitting here and we're waiting, and we content wise, other than in-game cosmetics, it's bad right now. Like it's so many updates. I guess we will get into in-game content and cosmetics, because if you're like a big like skins guy, this is it. Like this whole year with the armory, which to use the armory, I'm sure a lot of you know, but just to be fair, the armories where you buy an armory pass, you get 40 stars, and you get the stars by playing in like Premier, competitive, deathmatch, all the in-game stuff on Valve servers. You would you would just farm the stars that way, and you could like try to get a sticker or a gun. And the problem with that is that it's all of once again, it's like a loot box where you click it. The weapons cost 4 stars. So if you spend the pass is like $16, $17 depending on tax, and I live in America, so it's around that price. The problem you have is you get like a light blue, and it's worth like 15 cents, and it's just I'm just sick of the nickel and diming. I would have preferred it if how it was when the Gamma Doppler Glock and the Coalition M4 were added, where it was that you can use your Battle Pass stars or your Operation stars to directly purchase the weapon with the in-game currency. That was great because that way you can at least get those two. Like, okay, I want to just do it that way, and you can you still get it in Battle Scarred or Factory New, whatever. But at least that way, you're not having, you can at least work towards something. Because if you saved all your stars, thinking, okay, I want to try to get like, let's say the Be the Monster AK for the Overpass collection, or the whatever the other weapon, the M4 Fade from the Sport and Field collection, ones you can still get now. It's or the Long Dog Up. There's no, you can at least like, okay, I want to work toward that. Make it cost like 100 stars, 200. They can do whatever they want. but at least you know what you're working towards, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna give myself an objective to do, and I'm gonna grind CS. I'm gonna play all these game modes. I'm gonna try to get enough stars to then just get the weapon outright, and then it can scale down for like the pinks and the purples and the blues. There's like they don't cost as much because like you get so many of these grays, and you get duplicates of them eventually, and it's the armory is really it really is just it is a scam. Like the new Genesis case, which I'll get into, which is just, they're both scams. They're just big scams. And with the Genesis, it's maybe the biggest scam because now, granted, I will say this: to use the terminal, if you get a drop, it is free to use. It's the fact that once you then start using it, you then have to pay the money directly to Valve. And so, like, if it's like a blue skin, it's typically not that expensive. Then once you get into purples, it's like, okay, well, this is maybe okay to pay. But once you get into the pinks and the reds, it's like, okay, this is really expensive. I think like one Stat Track red factory was like over $1,000, and that's like I mean, you can get like a fire serpent, I think, for maybe that much, or you can get like you can get like a nice skin, like an Onitaji that's like a maybe a field tested Stat Track for like the same price. However much these cost, you're getting the point. It's just that this is ridiculous. Is to why Valve thought, one, we're not going to even set the price. We'll have an AI do it, and then so if you manage to let's say using the terminal case, Genesis case, I'm sorry, Genesis, and you get like in your your first attempt, like, oh my god, I got the red, but it costs an insane amount of money. Where most factory new red skins that are new, like a Temu Cow or the Vaporwave M4, like those never cost that much. They'll cost like a few $100s, but they're factory new and they're Stat Track, but they've never cost over $1,000 at like at launch when they're released. So I really think it's I don't like how Valve is handling their business side of CS. It really feels like they're desperate for money, and I don't see how they could be desperate because they make so much money on cases alone. They make money on the viewer passes and the stickers and the souvenirs you can buy. They make so much money just from this game. Not even Steam or Dota or TF2 or any other things that they that or games that there's older games that people can still buy. They make so much money just off of CS that the main focus is still just making money. When do we get like fun things that we can do? We ask for missions and we get like a half-assed version of it. It's half-assed where like it's one mission a week. You get a little bit of XP, and the missions themselves are very uninspired. It's either win rounds on a competitive map or something, or it's get X amount of kills with X weapon on this community map group for deathmatch. And it's like this is so we want missions, you half-ass it, and then that's it. That was months ago. It's probably 3 or 4 months ago. I forget when the mission update came out, and that was that's all we have. We have no co-op missions. We have no like challenge missions where it's like you go into a custom map or just like you go in like I think Vertigo and whatever, like they would shrink Vertigo down or other maps, and then you would like go against bots and it was wave based. Like that's fun, and that'd be like in a game that I play a lot, World of Warships. There's tons of different game modes you can do. You've got like your clan battles, which is like it's you and other people that you know, and you're going against other people that are maybe who they know. You've got like random battles. You've got co-op, which is just against bots. You've got operations, which is more. There's a bit more. There's some story to it, where like you're on a mission. You got to protect these ships. You got to assault this base. There's objectives to do in these operations you can do, and just from a gameplay standpoint, we don't have any of these cool things that CS would. It would be cool to just play. Like I don't want to really go up against people, but I want to earn XP. I'm gonna think I'll do like a co-op mission with someone. That'll be fun. Like 15, 20 minutes of my day, I'll do that, get some XP, and I'll be happy with myself. But there's just so much of a focus on just making money. And making money is fine, but at the same time, you just can't keep nickel and diming this community. That's what it feels like at this point. We're just getting nickel and dimed. Every time we get any kind of an in-game cosmetic thing, there's some stupid lotto mechanic where it costs 4 stars to redeem the weapon, and you got another gray. You've gotten like 10 grays in a row or whatever it is. I think the best thing I ever got out of the armory was like a CZ slalom. It was purple and it was battle scarred. I'm like, this is it? It's like worth $5. It really is. It's like playing the lottery. And I can kind of see why all these companies, I should say countries have put up legislation against it because it's a bit ridiculous at this point because the odds are so skewed against you. I would prefer, like, in cases, this is a bit more of a rant on the sidebar, but I wish that the case odds were much better. I think it should be like 1 in 100 for a knife, 1 in 50 for like a red, and then like 1 in 25 or something for a pink, whatever it is. Just make the odds just a bit more manageable. Yes, who cares about the skin economy being, billions of dollars? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. And I doubt even if they were to change it now, it wouldn't affect it that much because you already have, everything's been set for a long time. You maybe would see a slight decrease overall in skins in general, though. But the more expensive cases would, because they're still very expensive, yeah, you'd get a few more drops. But because they're so expensive and there's so few, that shouldn't affect the market too much. It'd be the newer cases where like you'd have newer skins where they'd be a lot cheaper. And I think that's good long term because that way you don't have people who are coming into the game late who don't have a lot of money and they're like, oh, I want a nice AK, I want a nice op skin, I want to I want to be happy with what I have. I don't want some cheap Safari mesh op. I want something that I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like the design on it, or I can put nice stickers on it. That's what you know. I'm really just sick of how they've just managed this game from a money standpoint. It's just sad, where it seems that so many updates nowadays are all focused on just in-game cosmetics. It's I really had hoped that this year would have been a lot better from a game, from game modes from that perspective, and it's not. Some good news though, I guess I could get into is the animations being replaced. Some of them are good. Some of them still need some work. I think like the Karambit one, it looks weird when you like try to do the insta inspect. But generally, that's cool. Crashes are down. There's the behind the scenes stuff of like getting the game more stabilized and some of the sound changes. That's been good. That's one thing I can give them credit for is that they've been working a lot of just making things better from a quality of life standpoint. The animations, new sounds, the updates that they've done to weapons and the economy, like in-game economy, have generally been very good. I can't think of anything really outright negative. Maybe the CT Molotov, but other than that, blooms much faster. I'd say that's fixed. I guess for the final verdict, because I think I've covered everything, I'm gonna have to just give this at the year two a D. I think I'm pretty sure I gave it a C last year. I don't want to say it's an F because there is some the cosmetics and whatnot, and they've been doing good at updating just bug fixes. You know, whenever there are, whenever they're working on something, they get it fixed, or any kind of change to something. They're pretty good about getting it taken care of. But in terms of just game play focused, game mode focused stuff, it's that would be an F. That would, if it wasn't for all the cosmetics and the game was still, no armory or anything, then this would have been an F. It would have been like an F plus. It would have been real bad, or F minus, whatever's worse. But for right now, it's a D. I'd say maybe D to D minus, not even a D plus. We're not even close to good. This is bad. This. I'm hoping that next year, or maybe later this year, we actually get like a cool game mode that's just, or just, I don't know, just something. Just like, just something fun where it's casual based. You're not, playing Premier competitive the whole time. That's what I would like. But that's probably a pipe dream. That is a pipe dream. Oh yeah, and just real quick, no danger zone. They pretty much took out the game files. That's just a quick thing. No Danger Zone. I love Danger Zone. Would like to, really would like to play Danger Zone. But it is what it is. But yeah, that's the review. Thank you for listening slash watching. Not much to watch, probably just gameplay in the background, but thank you. We do appreciate it. If you did appreciate the video, please leave a like and please subscribe for more of these videos. I'll probably do a end of season review of maybe how the teams did. It just depends on what time I have. But anyways, thanks for watching slash listening. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one.